In your solitude on Tatooine, training I have for you.
Training.
In our modern world of hustle and bustle, full of distraction, we often see solitude as a form of punishment. But what if it were just part of our training? Training to be a better person.
Do you guys have a dream?
A dream, yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
To be a...
Hold on. Do you know what your dream is? No? How come she doesn't know what your dream is? Go on, tell us.
My dream is to be a successful Twitch streamer.
Okay.
I don't know why you walking that way.
No, by the way, that is awesome, yeah? Because he knows what he wants and it's totally doable.
One of the most powerful realizations of adulthood in modernity is understanding that you can be in the midst of many people, even some that say that they love you, and still be alone. That those closest to you could be your biggest enemies, and that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself in your future dreams is to spend time alone developing yourself.
People don't know who you are. If I bring your name up in a room full of 100 people, nobody knows who you are. In a room full of 100 people, the chance of even one person knowing who you are, slim.
You're right.
I don't see your clips on my For You page. Nobody I know sees your clips on their For You page. You're irrelevant.
Yo-yo no michi o sumuku koto nashi. Accept the world that you see.
How do you date a feminist?
You don't. That's how you do it. I don't know about y'all boys, but I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman whose sole intent is to make me feel as irrelevant and unnecessary as possible.
In 1645, the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi wrote The Art of Walking Alone, Dokodo. In it, he detailed his Dokodo Nijuichi Kajo, his 21 articles for walking the solo path alone in life. In a book written almost 400 years ago, a legendary samurai seemed to understand something that many of us are just coming to understand now: the incredibly high value of solitude. Izure no michi ni mo wakare o kanashimazu. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation.
Woman said men are no longer persuasive.
I got married a virgin.
Yeah, I know, for sure. Men are no longer persuasive. She said, as soon as you tell them no, they don't ask you out on no more dates.
Beg for a date.
I don't know if it's beg for.
Want to go out? No. Cool.
You wrong.
You really want to go out? Want to go out? Maybe I'll ask you tomorrow. Well, what does she want? A no means no. They say no means no. No means no, right?
No, Chan, she's saying when you ask the first time, when she say no, that's supposed to get you really on your game so you can ask again.
So then walk around the aisle and act like we didn't never meet?
Chase the cat.
But like hey man, let me take you out sometime at dinner. No. Hey, how you doing, Channing? Let me take you out to dinner. What is she talking? Like, you just gonna keep begging her? That's called stalking.
I refuse to approach women in public because I refuse to be your ego booster. I refuse to stroke your pride. I refuse to be the next talking point in your group chat. Why would I approach a generation of women that have been taught and programmed to directly reject men? Why would we do that? I refuse to prove that I'm just a better choice and a better option than the men that you're going to consciously choose, whether I approach you or not.
Yorozu ni yorifu no kokoro nashi. Have an impartial heart.
Do you like your dad?
I like him. Yeah, I like him a lot. I'm lucky.
Do you like men?
Well, they're here. You got to learn to live with them to a degree.
Pretend we're not here. What would you say?
It's a tough time to be a man right now. Men are having to take accountability for a system that's been set up historically that I think they think has worked for them, but in reality doesn't serve men or women.
You're smart.
It is easier to be a victim than it is to be accountable, and I think that we're seeing a lot of men sort of take the victim route.
Are you dating? Are you single?
Oh, good question. For the last several years of like feminist development, I feel like we're wanting women to feel fully realized, and I don't think that men know how to like match that same energy.
We've had to like work extra hard to get to where we are,
exactly.
And they've been able to kind of coast, and now it's all coming to a head. What should the men do? How do you be better at dating?
I think that men have a lot of, I don't think they like learning from women.
Always remember, men deserve nothing and women don't owe men anything.
I'm just surprised at the way that men are acting like taking a woman out to dinner is such a big deal. Almost as if they're like giving their life away.
I could never get married because I can't imagine having a bad day and then having to go home to a man.
Half of the time, they're not even picking them up and dropping them home. They're literally just meeting them there. And then also, it's not like you're buying them a 5-course meal. You're actually just probably buying them dinner and a drink.
When women say, I hate all men, I don't ever correct her.
By the time we get to dessert, the girls usually are too full to even think about dessert. Then, at the end of the date, sometimes these guys think that they can sneak in a kiss. Let alone sleeping with the man, because we know how that can go sometimes.
I don't know what it is about men, but I don't like them. I really don't like them.
So I think the fact that a woman allows you to take her out to dinner, you should be happy about that, because back in the day, men would have to travel miles and miles just to be in the presence of a woman.
When y'all be in my comments saying you don't like men, no, I don't. And if you find yourself liking a man, you need to fill in that space. Go back to school or start a business.
So let's just think about that for a second.
Rinbo no michi, omoi yori kokoro nashi. Don't let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love.
My biggest gripe with mandatory paternity testing has always been that it endangers women and girls. Because it's like people seem to forget that the #1 cause of death for pregnant people is homicide.
So I had a kid 14 years ago, and I decided that I did not want to, you know what I'm saying, help raise or take care of that child at all. So I just left the kid and the responsibility of the other parent, you know, of the father. And now, you know, it's been 14 years. I've been paying my little couple $100s a month in child support because, you know what I'm saying, all he asks for is, you know, a few $100s a month in child support. I've been paying that. I haven't seen my child since basically my child was like, since my son was like 4 months old. That was the last time I seen him. And that was actually the first time I seen him too, when he was 4 years old. And now it's been almost 14 years. I haven't seen my son since he was 4 months old, and he's about to be 14.
Or if you want to pay your $50 to get your paternity test, I'm completely fine with that. I cannot stop y'all from creating broken homes. You're really good at it. But what I can do is advocate against mandatory testing that will inevitably lead to higher deaths for women and young girls.
The little, you know, few $100s I've been paying in child support, it's been cool, but now his daddy trying to get me to pay more money. So you know what I'm finna do? Since he want me to pay more money, even though I ain't seen him in 14 years, and I get that. Since he want me to pay more money, I'm finna try to ask for visitation now. Why not? He don't know me at all from a lick of paint. And I ain't even been interested in really knowing him, you feel me? Since I ain't seen him since he was 4 months old, I really didn't have too much care to even get to know my son, because I'm like, why? You know, what's the point? I didn't even really want him to begin with, you feel me? So why do I need to get to know my son who I had? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't want you in the first place, why do I need to know you? I'm cool with just paying my money and keeping my distance. But since his daddy trying to get me to pay more child support, I might as well get to know him now, right? Am I wrong?
Of course we understand Star Wars is a movie, so when we speak of the aging process of Obi-Wan, it's in a fictional sense, but it represents something. He was a young, wild-eyed Jedi, or at least middle-aged, when he had to go into hiding. And he emerged a very wise, more reflective elder man when he came out of hiding. Now, again, it's just a metaphor for life, but what it does teach us is that if what's outside is something that you should not be partaking in, then maybe it's best for you to stay inside. And that's something that some young ladies seem to be lamenting, and they're pointing at the flaws of men, saying men don't want to progress or evolve. But men are essentially saying whatever it is that's outside, it's not for me. Young men are finding themselves in an environment now where one night of fun can result in monetary and legal risk that are higher than there ever have been. And young ladies are expecting men to overcome several rejections for the opportunity to take them out. And even young ladies complaining about it not being a proper date and trying to compare this modern landscape to the old landscape when all the rules have changed. What's clear is that we have a new generation of Miyamoto Musashis and Obi-Wan Kenobis, young men that are very happy to reside in their safe spaces of their homes and their internet spaces where they can't get Me Too'd. And when young ladies are outside saying no means no, well, you have a generation of young men saying, well, in the safety of my home, you're calling me to go outside and approach young ladies, and I'm telling you, my no also means no. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.